How's it? Today is Friday, October 4th, and I am choosing good habits. Today was a medium Friday of sorts. Used to be Big Friday by the numbers, but I feel like my numbers have gone up since then, and realistically, this is supposed to be pretty lightweight for me today. And about half of it was. I went up to 90 for snatches today and 120 for clean and jerks. And just like I said yesterday, 90 was going to be ideally pretty easy, and they were pretty easy. 120 was a little bit more challenging, but I still think that I'm moving quite well for how challenging it was. One thing I was thinking about today for my snatches was how different I'm thinking about the actual lift than I was a few weeks ago, where I think that some of my snatches were a little bit reserved, a little bit more timid. Today, I didn't feel like that at all, and I am very, very, very proud of that. I think that when I'm looking at the lifts here, I am very snappy, and that's not something I almost ever think about the way that my lifting looks. But like you can see there, this snatch at 50, it's just a warm up, but just the ability for me to get under the bar very quickly after I extend. Like this 60, look at that. That's so different than it was just a few weeks ago. I think a lot of my lifting, most people's lifting, and also different aspects of their lives change as life goes on. But for me, I've never really been the quickest lifter. And so when I'm looking at how I'm lifting today, it feels so refreshing to be lifting like this again. And I think I go through a lot of these waves pretty often, but definitely I feel like this more when I'm injured. And I think that is the main component as to why I've been lifting a little bit differently. Here's my first lift at 90. Like you can see, I'm very quick under the bar, and it feels so easy. I don't feel like I'm pussyfooting, for lack of a better term. I don't feel like I am being a little bit scared with my shoulder. Oh, watch this one. This one I almost walk off the platform again. That one I really threw my hips, which is pretty atypical of how I lift, but I did it and I was like, oh shit, that's not good. But yeah, kind of going back to how I'm lifting, I think that right now it doesn't feel like my shoulder is necessarily inhibiting me from reaching the correct position overhead. And I don't really think that that's what was happening for my snatches in the past, but it's one of those things that because I'm struggling with the clean and struggling with the overhead position and the overhead press, it kind of leaks out of those positions, seeps into other things that are not exactly the same position, but something very similar that doesn't necessarily produce pain, but I still feel that kind of second guessing of the position in my head. And I think that is very important to recognize and acknowledge as to why something was kind of falling apart the way that it used to be. And yeah, today was really, really great. My shoulders felt awesome. My right shoulder didn't feel like it was giving me any issues. However, my mid back was cramping quite a bit with this rep here at 100. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to even go up for the clean. It's my mid back on my left side, which is not really the side that's been hurting me for my shoulder at all. Here's my first attempt at 120, and it was hard as fuck, not going to lie. That clean, positionally, I feel like I hit a lot of the positions that I normally do. The bar was pretty high, and I allowed it to kind of crash on my shoulders, but I was able to stick it out through, and the jerk was pretty good. And from there, I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to do another one. But I sat around for a little bit, and I was like, maybe I will try again. And I ended up texting my girlfriend, hey, pick a number between 1 and 10. And she chose 7, and I was like, okay. If it was, I had a real set for myself, if it was an even number, then it's I'm going to just move on. If it was an odd number, then I'm going to continue and try again. and I made this next rep. I think the clean was a lot better than the first time. Jerk was very similar, and honestly, the pain didn't get any worse. So I don't even say it's pain. It just feels like uncomfortable, like legit, like a big cramp right in the middle of my back. And then because she chose 7, I also did my pull-ups here for sets of 7 instead of sets of 6. Like that's essentially like, adding 5 extra reps overall, and that's kind of a lot. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe my back is cramping because I don't do as much endurance pull-ups as I used to. So maybe that's a change I'll make. I don't know. Finished off today with dragon flags. The main reason why I did not front squat today was because that upper back being very like prone to cramping, and I didn't want to push into that position if I didn't need to. Normally I would front squat on Fridays like I was trying to do for a few weeks, and yeah, I'm probably just gonna push it through tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But today was sick. I'm super happy with it. I went 6 for 6 in a weird way, 4 for 4 on snatches, 2 for 2 on clean and jerk. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shoots.